Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. It's the weekend. You know what it means. It's time for that weekly news roundup. We will begin with FPGA gaming news, like we do every week, the MiSTer, the Replay2, the Analogue Pocket, and well, any other FPGA gaming news out there that's worth reporting. After that, we will move over to random and retro gaming stuff. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. There's also a Patreon available if you wish to further support the channel. Timestamps are available, so use those for your convenience to navigate your way around the video. And before we begin, guys, don't forget to check out the sponsor of the weekly news show, MiSTeraddons.com, a family-run store that will take care of all your MiSTer needs. And finally, guys, check out London's best arcade, Free Play City. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. The Replay2, let's begin with the Replay2. And why are we beginning with this? Because you guys have asked me a lot of questions about it, saying, look, what's going on with that? You used to cover it quite frequently and you've been quiet about it. And I've been quiet about it for a good reason. The team believe in working hard and holding their head down when they're doing the work. And that's exactly what they've been doing. They have been working hard. They said to me, when they have something, they'll give me something. And guess what? They have now provided me with something. You're going to see like a slideshow on your screen now. It's the pictures that are going. What I'm going to be talking about may not be relevant to what's on screen, but I just want you to look at something nice that the team have provided me. Now, they gave me quite a technical write-up, or quite technical details, and I kind of broke it down and I've put it together in a little piece, and I hope I haven't made any mistakes. If I have, then definitely check the pinned comment. I'll address anything there, but I've tried to extract as much information as I can, and I've tried to make it so I can understand some of it, and hopefully you guys can. Most of you guys are more technologically advanced than I am. So what have the team been doing? So here's the latest update on the ambitious project that's shaping up to be an incredible piece of kit. Let's dive into the details and take a closer look at what makes the Replay2 board so special, or the board being used in the Replay2 project. Design progress, the schematic and design work are all wrapped up, and the team are deep into the PCB layout phase. It's no walk in the park. This is a complex design, and the Agilex 5 pin out is proving to be quite the challenge. That said, most of the components are already on the board. The team are currently tidying up the layout and routing the remaining connections to the memories. Expect the layout to be fully routed in the next week or two. So a few bullet points here regarding key features. So here's a breakdown of what's packed into the board. I/O capabilities, USB 2 and USB-C power input, multi-mode super speed USB and multi-mode digital video, RCA audio featuring a high quality Asahi Kasei 108dB 32-bit codec, gigabit Ethernet, 30-bit analog video and optical digital audio output, 7 USB ports including internal USB support via a blue connector and 5-pin header. Now we're going to talk about memory and storage. The Agilex 5 is flanked by 2 banks of DDR4, a removable eMMC, dual SD RAM chips for legacy core compatibility, 4 Hyper RAM chips, QSPI boot flash, and then dedicated space for a full-sized dual-lane PCIe SSD alongside a Wi-Fi Bluetooth module. And some advanced features that we're going to go through now: clock management, 4 clock generators including a PCIe clock, fixed system clock, and 2 flexible low jitter generators for core and video in-out. Modular expansion, we've got I/O connectors on the top and bottom. The bottom connector supports audio and video for jammer adapters, while console I/O modules can be installed at the front or back. A versatile daughter board connector in the middle. Computer module integration. The edge connector on the top includes 4-lane Gen 3 PCIe, MIPI TXRX Ethernet, and other signals for an optional compute module. Note, this connector might migrate directly to the compute module instead. Now we're going to talk about power and cooling. Multiple power input options. 4-pin connector 9 to 20 volts, adaptable to a barrel jack or laptop power supply unit, standard ATX power supply, USB-C inputs supporting up to 100 watts, generously sized power supplies for diagnostics and monitoring. The final version will streamline these further. Cooling, dedicated fan for the FPGA, 2 standard 4-pin PC fan headers. That said, the board is unlikely to get hot under normal use, so good to hear that. So some extra points here: front panel PC connector for power reset, plus an HD audio header with line in and headphone output, complete with a headphone amp featuring its own volume control. The RTC, the real-time clock battery is strategically placed and doesn't interfere with the PCIe connector. Okay, so now the current status and the next steps. The component placement is almost final, though there may still be some minor tweaks. Once the PCB is fabricated, we've got all the parts ready to assemble, the team say. There's still some way to go on the design, but the aim is to provide, almost weekly updates moving forward from here. So hopefully I'll be covering this stuff almost on a weekly basis. This board is shaping up to be an absolute beast, whether you're into high-speed data transfer, retro gaming, or hardcore modding. There's something here for everyone. So guys, definitely stay tuned for more updates. I'm definitely excited about this project, and honestly, based on everything that I've seen in the scene, this looks like it's going to be the next generation in FPGA gaming. Now, don't take that as gospel. Anything can happen, right? A project might pop out of the woodwork that no one's even expected to come out. There might be a MiSTer 2 down the line, but these guys are making excellent progress. They're putting framework in place to get stuff like MiSTer calls working. It's something I'm very excited about, and it was nice to hear from the team. Get these new screenshots that are rotating on your screen, and just getting like a whole bunch of information out there. So Replay2, I guess 2025 is going to be an interesting year. The Fairyland story. So this is a single screen platformer that's due to come out definitely for the MiSTer, the Analogue Pocket, and likely other supported FPGA platforms that Artego supports, such as the CD and possibly the Mist. I'm looking forward to this because this is a single screen platformer, and you know what guys, I like my single screen platformers. Now Artego wanted to get this out on Friday, doing a JT Friday, but there are still a couple of things that need fixing, but Artego's sounding confident that we'll get a JT Saturday. We've had JT Saturdays before in the past, and I really hope by the time you guys are watching this video, we're enjoying this game. But understand, sometimes unforeseen circumstances can happen, and we may get this at a later day. But I certainly hope we get a JT Saturday. Definitely looking forward to this game. Let's now talk about the Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn core has been receiving ample updates from the developer SRG320, and in the last week we received another update. These updates are just making the core so much better. It's bringing it closer and closer to real hardware. It is an amazing core. This version isn't available via update at all. You would need to get an unstable version of this core from the MiSTer FPGA Discord. That's at least the easiest place to get it from. Definitely try it out. This is one of my favorite cores, if not my favorite console core on the MiSTer FPGA. It is just fantastic. If you haven't experienced the Saturn, experience it, especially if you like arcade games. There are so many good arcade games on this system. Do you enjoy playing the Super Game Boy core on the MiSTer FPGA? Well, there are some really good updates to that core now, courtesy of Paul B and L. As we can see here on the MiSTer FPGA forum, we've got the Super Game Boy add save states, updates from SNES core, fix MSU audio looping, fix noise channel pitch, option to remove audio pops. Let's see what happened in the last week regarding Mr. Pi. So Taki Udon here in the first tweet we're looking at, he's talking about the PlayStation based Mr. Pi FPGA that's coming up hopefully sooner rather than later. Taki here says, when I originally made this product plan at the beginning of the year, I wrote $100 MSRP on the design. That was before I had to be responsible to pay rent, utilities and staff salaries. I still want it to be close to that. maybe as a loyalty bonus to returning customers. And over here, I think he references something down here. Okay, so that's an earlier thing where he said that's the source of that, right? Next tweet here, where Taki says, we have around 270 MiSTer Pi left to ship from this batch. So that's batch 2, and that was from a couple of days ago, so who knows, maybe they've even got those 270 out by now. So shortly after we are done, a small batch of PayPal Turbo packs will be available for order. Batch 3 Turbo pack pre-orders are almost sold out. Mega packs are already sold out. Okay, so a little bit of information there for those of you guys that wanted to pay via PayPal. Now bear in mind, you might be paying slightly more because PayPal do charge a lot more than other like payment providers. So if you're waiting to pick one up via PayPal, hopefully that's going to be available for you very, very soon. So keep an eye on Taki Udon socials. That's where you get the best information. Over here, okay, so this is really, really good. So here's a friend of the channel, neocvera, and he's actually made a guide specifically for setting up a MiSTer Pi. So if you've recently acquired the MiSTer Pi and you're unsure how to get everything going, watch this guide. neocvera really knows his stuff. He's put together an excellent guide. So yeah, watch it and yeah, learn how to set everything up. I'll leave a link to it in the description. And this final tweet here. So MiSTer Pi version 1.6 with BGA SD RAM arrived today. Starting work on the batch 3 NFC PCB cards. Okay, so interesting. So yeah, it's nice to see this evolving, other features, onboard RAM, just the MiSTer Pi evolving. So I want more of you guys to come over to MiSTer. If you haven't got a MiSTer, get yourself a MiSTer. They're awesome. The MiSTer Multisystem. This was a very, very popular case that many people like. They like the Multisystem. They like everything it offered, all the extras it had in it, and all the extra components you could buy, the additional boards and whatnot. So many people swear by this. I've never actually used or experienced one myself. I'm happy with my setup, but I do appreciate what these guys do. So some of you guys might be very excited at this news. So Multisystem here tweets, our Multisystem 2 bare PCBs are here. We are excited to get these built up with components to start the testing stages. Multisystem 2 is a true all-in-one MiSTer FPGA gaming console, plug and play and backwards compatible with all Multisystem cartridges coming in 2025. And here you go, they've shown us a couple of pictures here. Let's now move over to the next tweet. So the next one here says, just to be clear, as far as we are often too subtle about our teaser product details, Multisystem 2 is a complete MiSTer FPGA gaming console. It does not require a DE10 Nano or clone FPGA board and does not require any IO boards or RAM. Everything is all in one on the main motherboard. So question rises, are they using an original DE10 Nano? Have they got a clone of it themselves? Are they using another one? Or have they got a different board altogether? Either way, it's MiSTer FPGA, so I expect it to be compatible with everything. But that's really, really interesting. It's nice to see like the market expanding and lots and lots of stuff coming out there, which is always good for us, the consumer, right? The more products we have, hopefully the more competition, and in the end, hopefully cheaper prices overall. And a final tweet that we're looking at here from Richard Horn, where he said, this happened. Very excited to see this stage of the Multisystem 2 project. I have started on the enclosure design, more details as we get the prototype manufactured. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. Good stuff. Do let me know what you think, especially if you've got a MiSTer Multisystem already. You know, are you looking forward to this? Are you going to upgrade or maybe get yourself another MiSTer? The way I see it now, the MiSTers, if they're getting cheaper, you can always gift one to a loved one or a friend of yours that's stuck on software emulation and says there's lag. Buy yourself a new one and give them your old one. Bring more people over to the MiSTer universe. Let me hear you say it. Zaparoo, Zaparoo. Okay, it's Zaparoo. So Wizzo here, the main developer behind it, he is saying the Zaparoo Arctic Zapad is now available in my shop, along with 2 updated DIY kits that come with new Zaparoo labels and standalone labels. If you want to update your old reader, take a look. And you can take a look because I'll leave a link to this in the description of the video. Now let's have a look at this here from Anime Otaku. Anime Otaku is a rising star in the world of Zaparoo. His work is amazing. So look at what he made here. Made a SNES collection booklet with QR codes. And guess what? You can make a booklet, scan the QR code, which will then launch a game. I mean, this kind of stuff's really cool. You know, you get your friends around, you want to show stuff around. I think the stuff that I showed around was a long time ago when I had like emulation station on. I actually had big box, launch box, and I was having a look at this front end and everyone was amazed by it. But he is going to launch a game. Let's, okay, got to the import. Here we go. So he's going to pick up the phone and he's going to launch Super Mario World by scanning like something from the booklet there. It's just amazing. A QR code from the booklet, bang, and you've loaded it. That's not your only option. We have got many options when it comes to Zaparoo. Look at this over here. So to Anime Otaku here says to add to my latest upload. So that's an Android tablet. You're using an interface there. You're getting on stuff like game FAQs, but you're launching a game from there directly over to your MiSTer via the network. This is just amazing. So you can have a dedicated tablet. People come around, they can look at games, they can watch videos of games, they can see a guy eating chicken there in an advert before the game, or watch a game advert, whatever you want to do, and you can just launch a game from there. It's amazing. Look at like where this project is going. Honestly, I think to myself, am I going to stop covering this ever? And every week I'll get surprised just when I think there can't be any more surprises. Now let's have a look at a final tweet here. A proof of concept of something I am currently working on. It's not perfect and there is still plenty of room for improvement. Special thanks to Bedroom Ninja for inspiring and encouraging me to give this a shot. And again, amazing stuff like a game launcher there. Launch via an Android tablet. You can launch it via your phone. It looks like you can launch it via like a website address or like a URL. So you can likely do this on your PC as well. But it's going really nicely. I like the idea of having like an Android tablet there and people can just browse that and launch something, especially having a game night with your friends. Like amazing stuff. Zaparoo is amazing. The people involved in it like Wizzo, Bedroom Ninja, Anime Otaku, Phoenix, anyone else, Aerial Ace's amazing labels. This is an amazing project with amazing people and it's just forever evolving. So this popped up during the week from Dave18, an Open FPGA ZX Spectrum core. Right, who remembers the Spectrum? It was a big machine here in the UK. I was a Commodore 64 guy, but most of my friends had a Spectrum, and yes, I played it and I definitely appreciate a lot of the games on there. There was a whole bunch of games. Now, this is a port, an Open FPGA port of the MiSTer Spectrum core to the Analogue Pocket. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. I've been really busy during the week, but hopefully some point this weekend I can whack this on my Analogue Pocket and try out some Spectrum games. But there's no reason why you can't try it out now. Try it out, even if you're not familiar with a Spectrum. It's an interesting system. It didn't have like, I remember the Commodore 64 had a lot more colors, the games looked a lot prettier, but man, like the games on this machine were good. I in particular remember R-Type being fantastic on this. While talking about the Spectrum, I did mention the Commodore 64, and when I check my notes, next up from Marcus Triple Z, we have MiSTer Pocket, which is a wrap of his emulator brought over to FPGA. That's received like a minor update, and it's just more of a reminder to you that we also have a Commodore 64 core for our Analogue Pocket. So on the release notes, all it says is tiny release including fix for Commodore 64 keyboard overlay graphics is garbled issue 28. So always nice to see reported issues being addressed. But yeah, try the Commodore 64. Commodore 64 is a fun system, so is a Spectrum. Try these cores out. I'm a really big fan of the updaters for the Analogue Pocket, and my go-to one is Pupdate. I really like it. The other two are awesome as well, but most recently, or at least for like the past 7-8 months solid, I've been using Pupdate and it hasn't disappointed me. So Matt Panella, the main developer or the developer behind Pupdate, he's actually released version 4.0, which is currently in beta. So this Reddit post from him, he says, I upgraded the version of .NET that Pupdate runs on from 7 to 9 and pushed a beta build. If you're running 3x version, it won't automatically down the 4x version since it's marked as beta. But if anyone wants to manually download it and be my guinea pigs, here's a link. If anything blows up on you, if you wouldn't mind posting here or making a GitHub issue, it would be appreciated. So if you want to get involved in the testing and you want to try like a beta version of Pupdate, again, link in the description, try it out. And if you encounter any issues or if you just want to say thank you, you know how you can reach Matt Panella. A couple of pieces here for the Analogizer. So Random Monk 3 says Analogizer links Pocket Core 1.0.1 added support for PSX digital game controllers. The SCPH1010 the 1080, and dance mats. Okay, there's a question mark next to that. Maybe you want to play with your dance mat? That'd be fun. If you do play the Analogue Pocket with an Analogizer, with a dance mat, send me a video and I'll definitely feature it in the weekly news video. That'll make for an interesting viewing for sure. Let's have a look at the next tweet. So Random Monk here, Random Monk 3 here says, now you can buy a snack PSX adapter and or with Analogizer in our online store. So if you want to get an Analogizer, check out Random Monk 3's website. It's the only way currently that you can play the Analogue Pocket on a CRT and use original controllers, so it's got snack capabilities. On the side of Sipeed, Nanta Mario here is saying GBATang 0.6 is released. This introduces support for the Tang Mega 60K as promised. There's some unfinished work on the EEPROM, but I want to get this out first. Now all 4 cores support the impressive 60K. Enjoy your GBA, SNES, NES and Genesis games. If you are a regular on the channel and a lover of FPGA gaming like myself, then you may remember a while back we spoke about Sipeed wanting to do some consoles with their Tang range of FPGA boards. Well, now we have an update. FPGA Tang console 60K 138K dock board came back. First sample will SMT out next week. So this is really interesting. If these might be cheaper than say like the MiSTer Pi. Now if all you want is an FPGA console for a NES and you're not interested in anything else, this might be an option for you. You know, it'll be limited compared to what you get on the Analogue Pocket and the MiSTer, but the price might be competitive where you think, well, I'm paying half the price of a MiSTer Pi, for example. Don't quote me on the prices, just chucking random stuff out there. And then you might think, okay, you know what, all I want is the SNES. This can do it, I'll get it and build myself a little SNES. At some point, I want to get my uncle like a cheap FPGA because all he wants to play, all he's interested in is the Atari ST, because I used to play it around his house when I was younger. If I find something that's cheap and it can run the Atari ST, I'll likely pick it up for him and just give it to him, say, look, connect it to your HDMI display, plug in a controller, and you are living the Atari ST. Honestly, guys, when you think it can't get much weirder, it just keeps getting weirder. The SuperSEGA. Now, at this point, everyone is convinced it's a scam. I think there's one person that's been living in the cave for the past 20 years, eating nothing but rocks. They had their eyes closed and their fingers in the ears and they haven't heard about it, and they may believe that this isn't a scam. Like, I have no confidence in this. You guys have spoken out and everyone believes this to be a scam. So what have they said most recently? Well, they've released this video where Alejandro's playing a guitar. Yep, he's playing a guitar. Whether that's an FPGA guitar or not, I have no idea, but this is just weird. Like, why have stuff like that? Is this some top level trolling? I have no idea. But here's an extension on time extension. To the shock of absolutely nobody, Sega is trying to shut down the SuperSEGA FPGA project. Now, a lot of people have spoken about this article. I spoke about it in a video earlier during the week. Video Game Esoterica has actually been covering this comprehensively, so definitely check out his videos. He's definitely deep diving into this stuff. But a lot of people are saying that, was this their plan all along? Did they want to take the money and then make up like a fake kind of notice from Sega that they're taking us to court, and then blaming Sega, saying they got us to destroy all the stuff, we can't give you your money back? Guys, like seriously, this is just too bizarre. It's like something out of a bad soap opera. Like, no idea. And lastly, just getting over to the SuperSEGA site. Here we go. So Sega have issued them like a letter before action, or whatever you want to call it. They've told them destroy all the consoles, get rid of your website, get rid of the branding. And what we're looking at is this part highlighted here, right? So what does it say? Sega issued against SuperSEGA. They are asking for us to stop and destroy all units being manufacturing. See our reply here. We ask for Sega to reply to our response in no more than 14 days since 5th of December 2024. So they want a response from Sega by December the 19th, if my calculations are correct. Pre-orders were closed on 24th of November 2024. Guys, I'll leave a link to this. I'm not going to go into this letter, but whatever they're saying, Sega are trying to sue them allegedly for using their IP, and they're kind of going back to Sega saying responding 14 days. I've got no idea what's going on. I think Alejandro said that the only way he'll do it is if Sega compensate and, I don't know, give everyone their money back and pay all our funds. I don't know. It's just very, very bizarre, very, very organized, and just very, very weird. Yeah, just in case you're thinking about buying it, like, don't buy it. Alright then, so the game database are now moving over to, well, one of my favourite genres. Is it really a genre? I guess it is. Arcade and Taito Arcade Part 1. Hey there, the first batch of Taito Arcades is finally here. It's been a while since we've done anything arcade related, and everything is welcome when it's arcade related. So for the first release, I've focused on the games available on MiSTer and a few more. This week I'll start working on the rest. Lots of legendary titles: Space Invaders, Bubble Bobble, Phoenix Elevator Action, Arkanoid, Rastan, The New Zealand Story, Kiki Kai Kai, and Chuka Taisen, among others. Something a little bit unrelated specifically to gaming, but I want to cover this because I know a lot of people had love for the iPod, right? I had an iPod back in the day, but I think I bought something that wasn't tied to iTunes that I used for quite a long period of time. I can't remember what it was. Was it a Creative Zen or something? It was very good either way, but I know the iPod, the classic iPods, have a lot of love. So Taki Udon, we know he's done excellent work with the MiSTer Pi releases. I have a MiSTer Pi, it's fantastic. I know he's been doing OLED screens for like the Switch Lite. Not interested in that, but hey man, love the innovation. What is Taki moving on to next? Oh, forgot to say, he's also doing PCBs for retro controllers. What's he moving on to next? Well, look at this over here. I have settled on doing a custom shell replacement to fit iPod Classic 1G to 5.5G motherboards. Shell will come with an OLED or IPS screen, dedicated Bluetooth with a pairing button, TF-CF adapters, and a battery internal adapter. Frames can hold mini 1-2 nano 1-3, classics 6-7 mobos. So if you've got an old an old iPod kicking about, well, maybe you can bring it up to 2024 by the time these are at, probably 2025. A new screen, Bluetooth pairing, so you don't need wired headphones with it. It does sound like you can give that old iPad like a really, really new lease of life. Sounds interesting. Someone here asks, what about Gen 6.5? And Taki said, I ran out of characters in post, but yes. Okay, and what's the final thing over here? Someone asked, USB-C or 30-pin cable? Taki Udon says, looking into having USB-C. So that really will modernize your classic iPod. I remember there was a really big one at the time that had like 120 gig, and you had all limited edition ones. I think there was like a U2 one as well, and they were amazing back in the day. I remember they were very, very good and sought after devices. Then people started using them in mobile phones, but it's very, very interesting to see that yeah, Taki is going to give your iPod a new lease of life. So if you want to kind of keep up with this, I doubt I'll cover this on the channel again. It's not something I generally do, but it was definitely interesting just from a technological standpoint to take something old and to make it reusable again in like a modern era. So yeah, if you want to keep up to this, follow Taki Udon over on his Twitter, or check out his website Retro Remake, where this stuff will be sold. What's not good about free? In most cases, free is good, and I can assure you in this case, it is very, very good. Here's a game called Escape from Castle Matsumoto. The developer behind this is someone called Maximus, and I've been looking at this game for a while, and guys, it just looks absolutely wicked. It looks like Spy v Spy. Remember Spy v Spy? We all like that game, but instead it's with ninjas. It just looks absolutely amazing, guys. A quick description here says, two shinobis race against each other to recover stolen items and escape from a Japanese castle using their wits and tricks to outsmart the opponent. Retro split screen dual arcade game using pixel art in 3D. Guys, this really looks amazing. It's a free game. Go try it out on go grab it, man. It's free on Steam. Something I definitely want to try out again. Like, I just need more time, man. I wish I had more time for games. And look at those ninjas fight. It is amazing. I've played many games that have been developed via GB Studio. It's an excellent piece of software, and there have been some really, really good games made in GB Studio. Well, have a look at this tweet from Matt Hewson. GB Studio has come to the NES. You can build games for the NES using the world-class toolset found in GB Studio. And having a look over at the GitHub here from Michael Iwanik. Hopefully I got that right and I didn't butcher it. But again, fantastic. So if you want to make NES games, the way you make games, or the way you make Game Boy games in GB Studio, well, it's come. Look at that, BB Studio drag and drop game creator for NES Famicom. If you want to check it out, you want to make yourself that NES game that you always wanted to have, well, the option is there. Well, gee, will you take a look at that? We have Mario 64 for the Game Boy Advance, and if I recall, the Game Boy Advance is a 32-bit system, so will this become Mario 32? But guys, either way, it's amazing. Amazing work from Joshua Barreto just making this happen. You might be thinking, well, why do we want Mario 64 on a Game Boy Advance? And to you, sir, I say, well, why not? It's amazing. Love your work, Joshua. Very, very talented in what you're doing. And yeah, just it's been amazing watching the progress on this. And I look forward to seeing like more progress on this in the future. Billy Time Games is at it again. He keeps adding XP systems to classic games, classic brawlers, classic fighters, plenty of games out there, and it's just welcome. It's amazing. I'm always impressed by this. I like it. So, chunk of good stuff coming your way. Made another XP system hack for Double Dragon. Coding took 20 minutes, balancing took about an hour. I always felt the enemies were super tanky. This hack will give you an edge on your opponents. Works for both players. So if you were getting battered at Double Dragon, well, now your character can level up and just take those goons out. So you can grab the patch files to patch your own ROM over from romhackplaza.org. Something really amazing here. Mortal Kombat for the Atari 2600. Guys, this is whack. Now, the Atari 2600 was very, very limited in like the colors, the sprites, the graphics, everything it could put on screen. But guys, this just looks absolutely superb and amazing. Just kind of want to go through here till we get to some fighting. There you got a character select screen. Can't even like bring all the characters up at the same time. And here we are in fighting. Is that Scorpion versus Johnny Cage? Again, absolutely fantastic. I think Scorpion just done the teleport punch there. Just superb, man. Love seeing this kind of stuff, man. Atari 2600 Mortal Kombat, man. I'll leave a link to this video if you want to find out more about it. But fantastic. You know, I've been saying, or I've been showing a lot of stuff, and I said if I had more time, like I would play it. Guys, out of everything that I've shown this week, if I had time or any spare time that I get, this is what I want to play. Stardust Wars. Okay, it's a Star Wars game for the Amiga, man, and it's fantastic. This is made by Electric Black Sheep. Wow, the name's just awesome. But look at it, look how darn good it looks. I get goosebumps when I see stuff like this. If I had this back when I had the Amiga, I don't think I would have left my house for a week, man. But it just looks fantastic. Amiga deserves all the love it gets, and it's just amazing seeing a Star Wars game in 2024 come to the Amiga, and it looks badass. If you've tried it, let me know. I'm definitely going to try this at some point. I've got a lot of stuff to do this weekend after this video, so if I do get a minute, I will be testing this out. But if you have got some free time, link in description, check it out. Stardust Wars Director's Cut. Holy macaroni Batman, we have X-Men, the arcade game for the Sega Saturn. Well, we had it a while ago, but now it's on version 040, which means we've got the 4th stage, and now Dazzler is a playable character. Let's just kind of scroll away from the screenshots in a bit, because this is the developer's channel. Ooh, let me drop that a like and subscribe. If you haven't done that on mine, please do that now. But yeah, this is very, very interesting. So new playable character Dazzler, new stage Island M Caves, new enemy boss Nimrod, new enemy vehicles, fire-breathing lizardmen, boulder-throwing sentinels, unlockable remix based on Prophet Fukami arranged version, and there you go, you can download it here. So there's a link to this if you want to get this working in your Saturn. I haven't tried this version yet on my MiSTer FPGA Saturn core, but all the previous versions worked. I've tried all of them, but yeah, I will update this at some point. But the video you're seeing here, he tested it. Oh, so tested emulators, Metafan, RetroArch, Sega Saturn console, burnt disk, with pseudo Saturn Kaikar, Q plus bin Zaparoo firmware. Okay, so maybe if I test it on the MiSTer, I'll tell Hot Rod, test it on the MiSTer, it works absolutely fine. Okay, so guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, then a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Be absolutely awesome to one another, guys. I'll see you around. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.